Hello, this is Payal Agarwal from Kolkata, India. Namaste. Hello, good afternoon. Namaste. This is Payal Agarwal. Welcome back. Today we are going to make a very traditional and yummy, delicious South Indian recipe. It's sambar rice, and traditionally it's made separately. The rice is made separately and the sambar is made separately. Today we are going to do it in one pot. Magic. Okay, so I'm going to be using lentils today. We use split pigeon peas, so that's arhar dal as it is called in India, and you can make it without the lentils. Without the lentils it will be called rasam rice. Traditionally I'll show you how to make the sambar or the rasam masala at home. Again, you can make a big batch and keep it at home. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so first things first, the masala, the sambar masala or the rasam masala that we would be making. I'll show you the spices that we have to take. So peppercorns, and this will be equal amounts of everything. Okay, so peppercorns you'll be taking, and again the lentil that I was talking about, it's the yellow color lentil and it's called split pigeon peas. Okay, so that's the lentil, arhar dal or tur dal it's called in India. And mustard seeds, fenugreek seeds, methi, fenugreek seeds, and whole red chilies. And we would be taking curry leaves. And what you do is, as I told you, dry roast everything. And once it's dry roasted and it becomes aromatic and starts to infuse and into each other and give out all its flavor and fragrance, you turn the gas off, let it cool down to a room temperature, blend it, make it into a nice fine powder and keep it for later use, like so. So this is what the sambar masala would look like. Okay, so I keep this and if you use the lentils, it will be sambar. If you don't use the lentils, it does have a few lentils inside this. What that actually does is just helps to thicken the rasam. So if you don't use the lentils, it will be a rasam rice. Okay, so I'll introduce you the veggies now. We've got tomatoes chopped. We've got onion chopped. Nothing has to be chopped very finely, just normally carrots and beans. Pumpkin, you can use ash gourd, you can use the green pumpkin that you get. I've used the orange ones and I've cut into small cubes. Okay, and a new veggie, I'm sure a lot of you know about this, drumsticks. It's called dantha in India. They come like in long stalks. Okay, so what you do is you take that and you cut it into these strips. So this will we'll be using, very good for people who have joint pains, you know. And in India we make just a watery curry and we eat it with rice. Very good for the joint pains. Give it a try if you haven't tried it, and it is really yummy. It's a nice vegetable to eat. Okay, and a lot of ginger grated, curry leaves. This is all for the tempering. All right. Onion, garlic and ginger paste, a teaspoon. Rice, washed and soaked, as I told you, wash under running water and soak it at least for half an hour and more. Also, I've taken half a cup of rice, and this is the dal that I was talking about. This is the tur dal. Okay, so again I rinsed it, washed it very thoroughly, and then I soaked it in water. Lentils should be soaked for at least 1.5 hours, 1 to 1.5 hours at least. And then, as I said, more is fine, not less. 1 to 1.5 hours is a must for lentils. Alright. Usually for the one pot recipe, you'll take half the amount of lentils as to rice. So if I've taken half a cup of rice and 1/4 a cup of lentils, and I've done nothing to it, I've just soaked it and kept it. And what soaking does it in India, we normally soak everything, all the lentils and the legumes and rice and etc. before we start cooking it. What that does, it does to the lentils and all, it starts the process. The lentils and the rice and the legumes, they all absorb the moisture, absorb the water, and the cooking it becomes plump from inside, and the cooking process is easier, it's faster, easily digestible. Alright, and so that we are going to make today, and a very nice spice tea, which I will talk about also. The spices that I have taken for the tea, I'll show you that also. So let's begin. Okay, pan on, heat on. Okay, so this recipe again I'm going to make with my clarified butter, ghee, homemade ghee. Okay, so I'm taking around 2 teaspoons, around 2 teaspoons, okay, of ghee. You put in. Ghee has a very high boiling point, very high heating point. So you needn't worry about the ghee getting burnt or anything like that. It's not like normal butter. Clarified butter is not like normal butter. It has a very high heating point. So needn't worry really about it burning or anything like that. The gas should be at this point on a medium high. Give it a nice swirl so that it coats the pan. Okay, now for the tempering, we use mustard seeds. Alright, so a teaspoon of mustard seeds. Let it crackle. As I told you, mustard seeds, if they don't crackle in the pan, it will stay bitter. Give it a swirl and wait for it to dance. Wait. Dance. Just about there. Okay. So next we will be putting in the ginger. Dancing is starting. Can you hear? Yeah? Dancing away. Yeah, so ginger in, sizzling, great. Onions in. Now one more spice that you can use and which is very widely used is hing, asafoetida. Very good for digestion. You'll never get any kind of burning sensation in your throat. When babies in India get an upset stomach or get a stomach ache, traditionally what my grandmom used to do is rub a little bit of hing water next to the navel, and it really relieves stomach aches for the children, for babies. I'm sure for adults too, though I haven't tried it, but for babies it's a short way to relieve them of any kind of colicky. Babies, get a lot of stomach aches, very good for that. Just take asafoetida, so mix it in water and rub it next to the navel. So we are frying away the onions. It's happening. We just need it to be soft and kind of translucent. At this point, the tomatoes will go in. The curry leaves will go in. You can put it with the stock or you can take out the leaves. I am putting it with the stock. The stock also has a lot of flavor. And as I told you, just crush it a little bit so that it releases all its aromas. And in. That is happening. Now the ginger garlic paste. 1 teaspoon what I've taken here. Okay, that goes in. Give it a nice mix. And now one by one you can throw in all the veggies. So pumpkins in. Okay, carrots and beans, and the drumsticks, my mom's favorite vegetable, drumsticks. She can live on them. She makes, as I told you, a nice watery curry, and she has it, and she just loves it, loves. And she does have, she's 70, so she does have joint pains, and it really does relieve her. It's not that bad since the time she started having it every day. Okay, so we give it a mix. At this point, again, as I told you, just to give the veggies a little bit of a help, little bit of salt. We're just putting 1/4 teaspoon at the moment, and then we'll season it as we go. Stir. And now we put in the lentils. Okay, the washed and soaked lentils, as I told you, soak the lentils for at least 1.5 hours. Very important. Again, packed full of protein. So people who think that we don't get enough proteins out of vegetarian food, it's a myth. There's a lot of protein in your lentils, and I've been talking a lot about probiotics. Today I'm going to talk also about one thing called prebiotics. So once now that just let me finish this. So once the lentils are in, what you do at the moment is now put a little bit of water, and since there is salt, just let it start cooking a little bit, and then we'll do the rest of the things, because the lentils do take longer than the rice to cook. So we start the process for the lentils to start cooking. Okay, cover this, put it on absolutely low. I'll put it on the back burner so that I can now show you how to start the spice tea, which we are making for a beverage today. So this goes on the back burner. Let the lentils start cooking and become soft. My pan, and I've taken a cup of water in this. Heat on a high, and let it start coming to a boil. Yeah, so I was talking about prebiotics. Now prebiotics are essentially food for the probiotics. Okay, so suppose now we are probiotic. The strongest probiotic that I told you about was yogurt. Now you have incorporated yogurt every day, or you've incorporated fermented food every day in your food. You have incorporated like achars and kimchi and stuff like that, and a lot of yogurt. Good, very good. What that will do is multiply the good bacteria and help it live in your gut and make your gut happy and strong. But how will it survive? How will the good bacteria survive? The good bacteria survives by eating prebiotics, by feeding on the prebiotics. And what are prebiotics? Garlic, onion, whole wheat, okay, atta as we call it, plain normal atta, what we use very, very widely in India. And nowadays, because people have got to know the negatives of flour, a lot of people are switching to whole wheat all across the world, which is great. So atta, that is a prebiotic. Okay, so prebiotic food, spinach, any greens, so probiotics need prebiotics to survive in your gut and to multiply in your gut. So if you're just eating curd, or if you're just eating your achars, or if you're just eating your fermented food, you have to give it that support for it to live in your gut, right, to survive. So that it can multiply and make your gut happy and strong. So for that you need prebiotics. So garlic, onion, as I told you, whole wheat. Abroad you get a lot of artichokes. In India we don't use that much, but artichokes is a good prebiotic. Palak is a good prebiotic. Cumin again is a good prebiotic. So today we are making a probiotic drink. It's going to boost up your immunity and multiply it like by 10 times if you have this tea, this spice tea every day. Fantastic. Okay, so I'll show you how we do that. The spices that the water has come to a boil, turn the gas to a low, and the spices that we are taking today for the tea: fennel seeds, saunf, dalchini, or it's what is it called? It's slipping. Cloves, cloves, pepper, black pepper, ginger. Can anybody have cinnamon stick? Thank you very much. Cinnamon stick, dalchini. That. So what we are going to do is, again, take your mortar and pestle, put all the spices in, everything goes in, and give it a good bashing. Okay? So it's like a coarse powder. Coarse. So now let's start bashing that up. Bash, bash, bash. Did anybody try the Dalgona yesterday? Did anybody do the cardio? It's worth it, no? It was yummy. Okay, so bash, bash, bash. Spices. Looks like, just roughly, okay? Looks like so, roughly pounded. And we put that into the water. And let it boil away now. Okay? And what you essentially are looking at, if you've taken like a cup of water, keep boiling till the time it becomes at least half. At least half. So it will start to change color a little bit. It will become like a palish yellowish color, the water. And then you know that all the spices are infused into the water properly, and then we make the tea. Okay. So while that is happening, now this goes into the back burner and the sambar comes to me. So let me switch. Okay, switch. Ta-da, here. Hello my sambar. And the tea is on the back burner now. So now open this and see the lentils I'll just show you, are beginning to soften. So when this starts happening, it becomes, can you see? It's starting to soften. Okay? So at this point what you do is, once that starts happening, we put in the sambar masala. So we are not putting the entire thing now. We need at least 2 teaspoons for this recipe. We'll put in 1 teaspoon now. So remember, sambar masala, what did I tell you? The spices, please do jot it down again if you don't remember. Peppercorns, mustard seeds, fenugreek seeds. Again, a very, very useful seed for your gut and digestion. Fenugreek seeds, it helps to balance out the insulin levels in your body, very good for diabetic patients. Soak it in the night in a glass of water, strain it and have that water. Excellent for diabetes. And you take the lentils, the yellow lentils, the tur dal and red chilies. Okay, so you dry roast them, curry leaves with it. So you dry roast all of that, and the curry leaves will become nice and powdery. Once you start dry roasting them, the curry leaves turn into powder. Dry roast, let it come to a room temperature, and then you blend it into a fine powder, and that's your sambar masala ready. And for the rasam rice, today we are making sambar rice. So for rasam rice, what you do is exactly the same thing you do, just don't put the lentils. You put the same masala, the sambar masala, you put the same veggies, you temper it exactly the same way with mustard seeds and curry leaves and grated ginger, and just don't put the lentils. So now it's drunk up all the liquid. Put the gas on a high again, and again put some more water so that the lentils are cooking away. Okay. Now South India and mostly South India and Sri Lanka, you will see kind of use the same and lid on and let it come to a nice boil. On a medium high, you let it cook for at least 2-3 minutes now, till the lentils are almost there. So South India, as I was telling you, there are a lot of types of different types of breads, you might call it, or you might call it like thin pancakes, which are used to soak up these rasam or sambar. Today I'm making it with rice. You can make it with rice pancakes. You get the rice flour, and you mix it with water, make a batter, and make a thin pancake out of that. Neer dosa it's called, so you can eat it with that. You can eat it with a plain dosa. You can eat it with sambar, can be eaten with idlis. Over here we eat it with idlis, vadais, which is fried balls of goodness of dal, of lentils again. So you eat it with that. Steamed pancakes, idlis, you can eat it with that. Appam, again, very nice thin sort of a pancake which to soak up all the sambar. And the rasam. And rasam in South India, what happens is anybody with a slight, again with a slight cold or cough, or in the winters it's had like morning, evening, night. Rasam is something they will keep drinking to soothe their, because it's got a lot of pepper. And I remember I told you pepper hits the back of your throat. So anybody with a slightly itchy throat or a cough or congestion or a cold, rasam is excellent. Do give it a try. Even if you are just wanting to drink it in the evening, if it's nippy, and if you're feeling a little the weather is such that it's raining, you're feeling that little nippy nip in the air, make rasam and have it. And rasam is, again, you can make it, put it in a jar and keep it in your fridge. Last for a good 2-3 days. Take it out, reheat it nicely, and keep sipping it like a hot drink. And it's delicious. Rasam is so delicious, and it will relieve you of all your congestion and your cough and your cold. So it's a fantastic drink to have, and of course tastes yummy with rice. So today we are making the easier, quicker one-pot version. So I hope you all like that. So now, as you can see, the lentils are again, just keep little bit, giving it, pushing it down into the pan, mashing it up a little bit as you go along, so that the lentils kind of get mashed up into the liquid. The tomatoes, the lentils, the pumpkin. They say the more color in your vegetables, the better it is for your stomach. So today we've got orange, we've got red, we've got green, we've got pink with onions, like a mini rainbow going inside in the pan. It's like a little party of colors, and the whiff is amazing. Of course, I can feel it that there's no salt is required, but we'll put it a little later. Okay, so lentils again have a tendency to drink up a lot of water. It needs a lot of water to cook. So as you can see, it's the more water I'm putting it, the more it's drinking up. So go by eye. Okay, you don't need to be very thick, you don't need to be very thin, but you need enough water to cook your rice in also, remember, in the same pot. So go by eye. If you're taking like I have taken a quarter cup of lentils and half a cup of rice, approximately, as I told you, double the water for rice and double the water for lentils. So half cup rice, so 1 cup water, and quarter, so half. So you take 1.5 cups of water, and then go by eye. You might need a little more. Go ahead and put it. Okay. So gas on a high. Now put in more water. So let that come to a angry boil. Little bit more of the salt. Okay. And mix, mix, mix. Now, again, it depends on you. If you like your food a little spicy, please put in red chili powder. I am doing so. If you don't want it very spicy, because remember there is pepper in the masala. If you don't want it very spicy, please avoid the red chili powder. Okay, so I am putting in like half a teaspoon worth of red chili powder. Now it's boiling away again. Can you see it's boiling away again, the dal? So that's nice and done. Let it come to, so once that is boiling, now you put in the rice. Nicely soaked. So you put in the rice, careful. So I have been getting a lot of calls, and people are finding it very convenient, these one-pot recipes. It is convenient, I told you. Because there is just normal pre-prep which you have to do, which is nothing fancy, just a little cutting and chopping, and everything is made in this one pan. So makes life very, very easy. You don't have to do a lot of washing up. And people, as I told you, people who are scared of cooking, who have not cooked before, please start with these recipes, and believe you me, you'll fall in love with cooking. As I told you, for me, it's like meditation. I love to cook, I love to feed people, and I'm loving all the love that y'all are giving me. Thank you so much. Give it a try, and I promise you won't be disappointed. Very tried and tested, fantastic recipes. Okay, so now that it's coming to a boil, turn the heat to a low again. It will need little bit more of salt. I'm doing so. At this point, please check the seasoning. As I told you, always keep checking your seasoning as you go along, because you can't adjust it later, because it will soak up all the liquid, and then it's difficult to mix around. So the salt kind of stays in lumps and it doesn't mix around with the entire dish. So keep tasting. A little bit more of salt. See, this is what I mean. So when you keep tasting, when you keep adjusting, every chef should be excited about the food he or she is making. So we better taste, right? Salt done. And the masala that we had kept back, I told you we'll need around 2 teaspoons. I had put 1, so 1 more goes in right now. Okay? 1 more of the masala, sambar masala. Try this or rasam masala, both are the same, exactly the same process of making the masala. Just that when you're making sambar, put in the soaked lentils. If you're not putting, if you're making rasam, just don't use the lentils. Okay? Lid on, low. Shifting time again. So this goes on to the back burner, and my tea comes here. For your convenience, my lovelies. Tea right at the back. Okay, so now as the fumes out of that tea. I mean, you have to make this. Remember, fennel seeds, cinnamon, clove, pepper, and ginger. 5 things. Okay, cinnamon, clove, fennel seeds, ginger, and black peppercorns. Take it in a mortar and pestle, pound, roughly. Put it in water, and see now, as I'll show you, the water has become half, and if you can see, it's got that pale yellow color. Can you see? Pale yellow color. So that's how it will look, pale yellow color. Okay, pale yellow color you can see. So now it's there. At this point, now we take a strainer and or should we just keep it aside for now, and then you can add honey, which is a fantastic immunity booster. The concoction with all these 5 spices and honey, believe me, the energy boost and the immunity boost that it will give you, which is much required in today's times, and you'll really appreciate this drink. It does make you feel warm and all nice and gooey inside. It's an amazing fragrant drink. Okay, so we will strain it, and now what you do is at this point you either put tea leaves, okay, or you put a tea bag and then strain the liquid on the tea bag. So I have tea leaves, so I am going to put tea leaves. I use Darjeeling tea. As I told you, it's in the north side of West Bengal and makes fantastic tea. So I get my Darjeeling tea, half a teaspoon you put in. You don't need too much in this, because it will infuse, and if you put too much, then again it tends to become bitter. Okay, and this is tea without any kind of milk or anything like that. This has to be had in this form. Add jaggery, add, as I told you, honey. Again, remember, you cannot add honey to this pot. Honey should not be heated up. So you can add honey to a hot liquid. Don't add the honey and heat up the liquid. Okay, that kills all the good bacteria and the healthy strains inside of the honey, and will do no good to you. So you can add honey to hot liquid. Please do not heat up the honey. And of course, if you like it, you can put 2 or 3 drops of lemon in this tea also. Now we switch it off and keep this liquid aside to for the tea to infuse into the water. Okay, now the sambar is cooking away on a low flame. It would take another 2-3 minutes, I guess. Okay, so let that keep happening. And okay, so I have 2 minutes to chat with you. Oh, lovely. Okay, now tell me. So we were talking about prebiotics. Yeah. Again, as I told you, it's not only important to have only probiotics. Prebiotics is a must. So what is that we have, which is a prebiotic or a probiotic in this dish? That can be the question. So the prebiotic that you are having all your good veggies that you are having, the curry leaves you are having, anything green leafy is a prebiotic. Okay, a garlic, prebiotic, we put in garlic. Onion, prebiotic, we put in the onion. Now a common practice in India is to, with these one pot meals or these Indian curries, is to have either achar or something like that. Today, so prebiotic is sorted. Now the probiotic. See what this is. So what I have done is, this my mother makes for me and send, and I make sure to eat this with every meal. I make sure, okay, because if there is no curd or if there is no achar or anything, this is one thing which is instant and you can make it and keep it in your houses and in your fridge, and it goes on. And please, this is a very potent probiotic. So try and incorporate this. What this is ginger, and what my mom does is she cuts it into these thin strips, or you can just grate it also. That is also fine if you have don't have the patience to keep cutting it into. My grandmom helps my mom to cut these, and then my mom makes it. And my grandmom is one patient lady, so she keeps cutting kilos and kilos of ginger, if you can believe it. So into these thin strips, and what you do is put rock salt. Please, again, one more request, do not keep using processed sugar or salt. Rock salt, Himalayan rock salt, we call it Sendha Namak in India, very good, please use that. Use as much as you can. I mean, I'm not saying it's a complete no-no and you should swear by it, but as much as you can, try and shift yourself towards more, natural products, so it doesn't harm you, because everything that is processed highly has a lot of chemicals, preservatives, stabilizers, which we don't need, which our body does not need. It just keeps filling it with toxins. So we don't need that. Okay, so now it's been 2-3 minutes, we switch off the gas. And as every one pot recipe, let it sit, do not touch, do not open, let it rest away for 5 minutes, and then we'll open it and see what's happened to this. Okay, so back to the ginger. So you cut it like so, and you put it in a big jar. Again, this is fermented, so you have to let it be there for 2-3 days, 4 days before you can start consuming it. So I suggest make a big batch. Again, nothing happens to this. The ginger is then what happens, you mix it with rock salt and you mix it with lemon juice, little bit of lemon juice. So if suppose you're taking 250 grams of ginger, so you take 2 or 3 lemons or limes, considering that they are medium size. If they are very big ones, take 2. If they are medium, take 3. If they are very small, take 4 or 5. Okay, and you take around say 3 to 4 teaspoons. Again, taste. See the salt content and then adjust according to your liking. Put everything in a jar. Mix it thoroughly. Put everything in an airtight jar. Cover it and keep it in a place or a windowsill or anywhere where you get sun in your house, and let it be there for a bit. And for 2-3 days, I think in between you can, one day, every alternate day, you can keep mixing it little bit, and you'll see that the color changes. Of the ginger is normally brownish. We used it today, I showed you, it was brownish, right? So it starts fermenting and it becomes like this, pink, and it's tart and it's salty and it's sour, and it's a yummy thing to have with your food. So today with my sambar rice, I'm going to enjoy this. So prebiotic in the sambar rice and probiotic in the ginger. Sorted, my gut will be happy, I'll be happy, and so this is the kind of food I encourage everybody to have. It is simple to make, it doesn't take too much time, doesn't put in, you're not putting in too much effort, but you're doing yourself a big favor by not eating store-bought frozen food, or of course, if you're in a dire straight situation, everybody will eat it. I'm not telling you to swear by it. As I told you, don't swear against it, but try and avoid it, please. It's a humble request, as much as you can. Yeah, and try my recipes, and do share this video on your page if you liked it. I'll be very, very happy to answer your questions. Ask me what you want to ask about my recipes. I will answer. Go to the FOMO No More page, like the page, hit the bell icon, the notification icon, to get notified about my videos and other videos. There is dancing happening, as I told you. There is a lifestyle coach. So all that done, and then we eat dinner. Okay, so now we will just take a look at the rice first. It's done. Okay, so we'll check. I'll just plate it up for you and show you. 1 minute. Plate. And little bit of the rice I'll take now. And I'll just show you how beautiful it's looking. See? So I always, for one pot meals especially, please try and use basmati rice or the long grain rice. What happens is, it tends not to stick to each other. And it will, it looks beautiful. All long grains. Can you see how pretty it's looking? All the greens and the orange and the red. It soaked up all the masala. So let's give it a taste. Okay. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. Oh, I'm a happy person today. This I'm going to devour. So dinner is served. Tea is served. Strain the tea. And please mix honey or jaggery. Or sugar also, if you like. Cheers! I'll see you tomorrow with a new recipe. Keep cooking, keep eating, be healthy and happy. See you tomorrow. Namaste.